Have you ever wondered what would happen if you got access to the internal YouTube strategy document from the #1 channel in the world? An internal 36-page document directly from MrBeast was recently leaked, and I read every single page. In this video, I'll be breaking down the main takeaways for YouTubers and, more importantly, business owners so that they could take and learn from this strategy, apply it to their own, and see a huge difference in the way that they're approaching their content. This will significantly improve your leads, clients, and revenue coming into your business from YouTube without having to spend the millions of dollars MrBeast spent in order to learn these lessons. Each one of these are equally important, and we're going to start with number one. Number one is know your true goal from making the content. Right here, MrBeast says, your goal here is to make the best YouTube videos possible. It's not to make the best produced videos, it's to make the best YouTube videos possible. So a lot of people get hung up on production and they think they need the newest camera, the newest lighting, the best audio. And while audio especially is very important for viewer experience, a lot of times you get the same value out of a video from using your iPhone versus using a $5,000 camera. So if you're too hung up on the production value compared to the actual value going into your content, I promise you it's not going to make a huge difference on the amount of leads you're getting from your channel. For example, I run a channel called Car Rental Coach where George and Peter teach people how to start a Turo business. And although all of our videos are shot with an iPhone, this channel does over $30,000 a month in revenue just from YouTube alone. And it's really because they provide so much value about the Turo experience, what cars to buy, what cars to avoid, how to handle insurance, and they have the right video formats that we've crafted in there, along with the consistency, the keyword research. We rank #1 for the search term Turo that gets over 2 million monthly searches. So this is with an iPhone. People get hung up on cameras and they're making no revenue. You have to focus on what matters, why you're making the videos, and like MrBeast said, know your true goal. If it's revenue, then yes, maybe production quality can increase the viewer experience, therefore you're going to draw more people in and maybe they'll trust you more because your setup looks better, but that should not be the main focus. The main focus should be the value in the videos, the audience you're speaking to, and ranking for the keywords that they're looking up. And you want to make YouTube specific videos, not just generic ones. You want to fit the YouTube culture. So that's scripting your hook and intro to really be YouTube friendly, throwing rehooks in there, open loop, showing some B-roll, and having the edits fit the editing style that's on YouTube in your niche, because that's a proven concept of what the ideal viewers would like to watch. For example, if you're teaching business, you don't want super flashy edits. Business owners are people that have longer attention spans and are really there for the information. So you don't have to have edits pop up every 5 seconds, but more edits to complement their learning, versus if you're doing a channel that's more entertaining, maybe you're targeting just kids or just normal people, then you might want more flashy edits in order to keep their attention, keep them engaged, and ultimately keep them on your video as long as possible, which we'll get into why that's important here shortly. The second main takeaway I had was hearing MrBeast speak of click-through rate and thumbnail strategy. So MrBeast says click-through rate is basically how many people see our thumbnail. Titles are equally as important. The more extreme, the better. The biggest factors that you should nail on is going to be your average view duration, average percentage viewed, and your click-through rate. If nobody's clicking on your video, YouTube will not push that to new audiences. And if people aren't staying long enough, it signals to YouTube that the viewers didn't like this video. Therefore, they're not going to put it in front of viewers. So you're going to get less exposure. That's why click-through rate and average view duration have to work together. And once you get a strong click-through rate, and maybe you're thinking, what's a strong click-through rate? Well, usually anything above like 4% is really good. Some of our videos literally have like a 9% click-through rate. And if the average view duration is good as well, then those are the ones that will take off, be evergreen, and be our main channel drivers. And the thing is, if the click-through rate is lower, say it's 2 to 4%, there's different things you could do to go in and tweak that. You have to think, am I testing enough thumbnails? Does the thumbnail and title properly communicate what the video is about? Is Is it eye-catching enough? Is the title short and catchy enough with still including the keywords I need to include? And does it just trigger an emotion in my brain? Is the thumbnail tech complementing the title and telling the story in a very captivating, scroll-stopping way? Or is it just those thumbnails that you guys see all the time on YouTube that look like they're from 2006 and you have maybe like a blue background and someone pointing at something and the visual hierarchy is just not there, the appeal is not there, and that's why the click-through rate is not there. So your title and your thumbnail are what dictates how many clicks you're going to get. The bolder your visuals, the catchier your title, the higher the click-through rate will be. And the number one thing I could tell you here is yes, pain, fear, and desire are all very strong emotions, but the number one emotion that's going to get these people to click is curiosity. So maybe don't tell the full story, maybe make a broader approach. For example, for the car rental YouTube channel that we run, we just posted a video about a cargo van getting listed, which typically George and Peter rent out economy cars. So instead of titling the video, why I just bought a cargo van for my fleet, I titled it, The Turo Vehicle Nobody's Talking About and Why I Bought It. So instead of just going for people that already know what a cargo van is, we're taking a broader approach and just going after Turo in general and saying, this is the car no one's talking about, so I bought it. That got a very high click-through rate. It's sitting at 7.7% with a 7-minute average view duration and 1,000 views in one day. And on top of that, when we uploaded it, we got 5 booked YouTube calls. So their package is literally $3,000 for, I think it's a 3-month coaching session. So 3 times 5, $15,000 if they get all of the sales. And that's just a trigger from one video. This is consistent since their channel is built out for over a year and a half. And MrBeast says a simple way to up your click-through rate even more would to be to title it, I survived instead of I spent. That would add more intrigue, make it feel more extreme. That is a point right there. Try to make your titles as extreme as possible, but don't clickbait them. You want the clickbait factor of, oh my gosh, I need to click on this or I'm gonna go crazy, but you want the video to live up to that high extreme title. So that's why MrBeast does so well. Like he says, I fed 1 million homeless people, and he actually does it. So not only are the titles and the ideation just so captivating, but he delivers on what he's promising, and that's why his channel is so successful, the most successful in the world. So he says, in general, the more extreme, the better. I don't like bananas won't perform the same as bananas are the worst food on earth. So maybe for an example, say you're teaching people weight loss. Instead of saying, don't eat these 5 foods for weight loss, maybe say these 5 foods will destroy all of your weight loss progress. The more extreme, the better. And MrBeast says, the title and thumbnail on the videos you will be producing set the expectations for the viewer for your video. Imagine you clicked on a video titled World's Largest Bouncy Castle, and the thumbnail had a giant yellow bouncy castle beside a bunch of huge buildings. Then when the video plays, it's not a yellow bouncy castle, it's red. It's not the world's largest. It's also in a field with no buildings like the thumbnail shows. You'd feel like you were lied to and you would click off the video because it didn't meet the expectations that were set in the thumbnail and the title. This is why you must know the title and thumbnails of the videos you are making before you film. This is a huge mistake we see people make, and that's why with our content agency, we give our clients the full month of content, the title and the thumbnail text, so that before they record, they have the whole script as well. So they just go through, record it, and we literally optimize everything else. But the point is, we know before they shoot and before we craft that script what the title and what the thumbnail will read. That way the content is going to perfectly meet those expectations. So you want to have bold, clear messages that you can deliver on. And the goal is for business owners to draw in the people who urgently need these solutions. Maybe you would do the 5 ads that are exploding roofing companies in 2025. That timeliness and that word exploding drives way more intrigue, way more extremity than the former. And number 3, MrBeast really pushes on obsessing over the first minute of the video. He says the first minute of each video is the most important minute. If the start wasn't well lit or didn't match expectations, we would lose many viewers. So really what this tells me is to set the stage quickly. And what does that look like? Well, it looks like throwing in the strongest hook that matches the title that you could think of. And there's there's really three ways to do a hook. You could do a statement hook, you could do a rhetorical question hook, or you could do a story hook. And the reason this is important is there's so much content out there. Attention is scarce, and you really have to nail people down and tell them why they have to stay until the end of this video before they even get in through a minute of the video. And you also want to front load the impactful content, and then the less impactful content, but still impactful, but maybe not as valuable as the first half, should obviously be towards the end, but you still want to keep open looped, and you want to do more abrupt endings instead of summarizing the video, because people will click off if they know it's about to end. Even though I would say put the most valuable content at the front of the video, still keep that value towards the end, add in more rehook and more open loop, and do an abrupt ending if you want the viewers to stay all the way until the end. The first minute of your video should address your viewers' biggest concerns, introduce your solution's value, and establish credibility. Because what people are thinking when they listen to you is, why should I listen to you? So you have to give them a reason. For example, if you're doing YouTube for lead generation, like me, people wouldn't listen to me as much if I just started yapping about YouTube for lead generation. But if I told them that I have done millions of dollars in sales with my business using YouTube and have worked with dozens of other creators just in the past few months who generate consistent leads from their channel, then they're going to listen to me more, because I have proven that I have credentials and I can help others do the same. This is essential for not just YouTube, but conversations with people. Their brain is going to be framed not by just your status, but by your authority on what you're speaking of. And if you don't hook them in, and if your first minute doesn't match the expectation from the title, you will lose a large amount of viewers. And each viewer that you lose is a lost opportunity for them to purchase your service and for your business to actually be able to impact their lives. Next, number 4 is going to be strategic video retention. MrBeast says minutes 1 to 3 should be a transition from the hype to the execution. Minute 3 should be highly interesting re-engagement, and minutes 3 to 6 should be stimulating quick scene changes. He said we also want to do something around the 3-minute mark called a 3-minute re-engagement. A re-engagement can be described as content that is highly interesting, that fits the story, and makes people genuinely impressed. Another way to look at this is a segment that's only MrBeast can do this. It's important to re-engage the viewers around this time, because they could get bored of the story and click off. These re-engagements are usually spectacles and sometimes need a lot of time and money to perfect. Now, you might not have to go that extreme, because you're not building amusement parks, boats, and feeding millions of homeless people, but re-engagement is a key factor that is really going to help your retention. And remember, the goal of YouTube is to keep people on their platform as long as possible so they could feed them ads and make money. So your goal is to keep people on your videos as long as possible, so YouTube is incentivized to throw your videos in front of as many people as possible, their turn, and therefore getting you the most clientele. So what I like to do is rehook before each different segment, or even before each different point. And it could be something as simple as throwing in a little value tid and say you're going to speak about that later in the video, because that opens a loop in their head that they want to hear that, so they're going to stay. But also just giving a rehook before your point. So for example, I could do, we're at strategic video retention. So after this, I could say, now retaining viewers on your content is so important, but that's not the only thing that's going to get you successful. If you don't know this next point, none of what you learned is even going to make a difference. Something like that, that re-engages them and rehooks them to stay for the rest of the video. Periodically re-emphasize the key benefit, the key value they're getting, and key fears and pain points that they have. This keeps them engaged and positions them for your call to action. And did somebody say call to action? That was me. If you are thinking about starting a YouTube channel for your business, I've done millions of dollars in my business strictly from organic YouTube. And what I'll do is actually build out your entire YouTube strategy. All you have to do is film 1 hour a week, and I take care of everything else. This looks like ideation, strategy, your scripts, doing the keyword research, doing all of the post-production, editing, thumbnails, SEO, and we'll even upload the video for you. So if that's at all interesting to you and you want to get leads into your business that are consistent, that are pre-sold, that are warmed up and ready to pay in full, then click the first link in the description below and Book a call with me, no pressure, but we can map out your YouTube strategy together. Next point is extremely important, and this is what I see so many people do wrong. It is formats of videos. You want to have content buckets. You don't want to keep repeating the same format, as viewers get tired from that, and it doesn't allow them to see different sides of your personality or your expertise. MrBeast says, one way to boost retention on a video is to have a good format for the video to follow. Let's use our popular Last to Leave series as an example. These videos have many reasons why they do well, but one in particular is the payoff at the end. You see, once you start watching a Last to Leave, you get invested in the progress and the challenge. So that is just one format that he does. Now, for my real estate channel, I do many different formats. One of them is neighborhood tours. One of them is real estate market breakdowns. One of them is actually home tours. And one of them is just me talking about where to live, the different suburbs, and breaking it down actually on a map. These 4 formats come together, and some people prefer some over others, but that's giving me a wide net to cast to make sure that all viewers get a good experience, along with them get to see different personalities of me on a map versus me in a house. And that's really why we get over 5 to 10 leads every single week from our YouTube channel. And these are real estate, very high ticket clients that I am able to do over 6 figures a year strictly from YouTube. And for example, on Car Rental Coach, we do client interview styles. Another format that does really well is actually showing the inside of a car and how much they made from it. So these formats, if you get one that's working very well, you should repeat that in many different angles that you can, because if you have a winning format, you have a winning strategy in order to get the highest reach and the most engagement. Next is going to be what MrBeast calls the wow factor. He says, anytime we do something no other creator can do, it separates us in their mind, the wow factor. And this is so important. If you want to stand out, do and say things that nobody else could do or say. For example, for me, I'm going to talk about my real estate company and the different YouTube channels I have personally built, because this is something that nobody else can talk about. They can't take away my experience and the things that I've done. So the more you could talk about something that differentiates you and your business, the more people will be attached to your stories and the less competition you'll have, because nobody else is talking about it. That's why your own stories and your own experiences will surpass anything, because anyone can read off MrBeast's document, but not everyone can tell the stories that I have that relate to this document. So anytime you could do something different and something that nobody else could talk about, the better your brand is and the more it will grow. So you should really highlight any exclusive benefits, any unique mechanisms, especially ones that your competitors can't offer. And this just immediately positions your business as the superior choice. Next is creativity over budget. He says creativity saves money. People assume money is the answer, which is wrong. And this is why innovative storytelling is very important, because you could resonate deeply with your prospects just from using your words. You could do customer stories, creative demonstrations, and relatable metaphors that could effectively communicate your value. Creativity solves problems, not money. It maximizes the resources that you already have and gives you a strong narrative to build your brand off versus flashy production. Next, he says push through no. Don't just stop because one person told you no. Stop when all conceivable options are exhausted. So for lead generation, you want to persistently experiment with different angles, different formats, and offers to help you uncover what's the winning strategy so you could nail down on that. Overcome any initial failures. Maybe your videos aren't getting that many views. Well, you need to switch up your concept. You need to switch up your format. You need to try maybe a broader approach compared to too niche. And you just want to refine your whole content strategy until you resonate powerfully with your ideal audience. Nobody got there on the first 5 videos, the first 20 videos. You need to keep going, keep testing, and be a scientist of your niche. Next, he says critical components are essential. Without what you're working on, we do not have a video. So really, this means to prioritize the key elements of success, ensuring the essentials succeed, such as your packaging, click-through rate, hook, and what makes up the YouTube video to be seen in front of people. These are most important, and living up to them is secondary, so make sure that the idea is number 1. You want to clearly define that packaging and safeguard your messaging as well. Also, adding persuasive proof elements such as testimonials, real stories, success methods, or unique processes will ensure that your core values are communicated flawlessly, at the end of the day, bringing you in more leads. Next is feasibility is first. MrBeast says feasibility is working to see if critical components are actually possible. Without securing these, there is no video. So definitely verify any ideas you do up front. If you're doing like interview style type formats, make sure it's actually feasible for you to get out and do that once a week or however often is necessary. Because if it's not, then you do a format and you can't repeat it, then your channel will suffer. And if your audience tells you what you want to make sure it's feasible to actually give it to them continuously. And also confirm the investment before you start. I know MrBeast really has to nail this because he's spending millions of dollars on videos, but just confirm it's something that you could live up to and it's something that is sustainable for you and your business before you go all in with it. Next, he says, study your market. Get rid of Netflix and watch tons of YouTube. It will, without a doubt, make you more successful. Okay, I've been watching YouTube since a kid. I can very much agree with it because you have to understand the culture, the platform, the creators, what works, what languaging to use. It's not going to be the same as Instagram, Facebook, Netflix, but you should be a master of your craft. So you should be watching a ton of YouTube videos in order to know how to communicate for the platform and the viewers on it. You want to understand the trends, leverage other successful content in your own way, and realize that your market will shape your content, so study your market specifically. Dive deep into your analytics, your audience preferences, and you just need comprehensive market awareness, just like in any business. But this is the YouTube side of it. And next is to embrace authenticity. This is the highest vibration you could be at, is being authentic, and it's what's going to allow you to connect with people in a way that nobody else can. Don't reiterate other people, don't copy, be yourself because it's called YouTube and people want to connect with you. MrBeast says, people like when we're in our natural element, empower talent to be authentic. So remember, strong emotional storytelling, tell things that are vulnerable that you wouldn't even share with your friends. Tell it to the camera and I promise that will be your best performing video. People want to connect with others and they want genuine, reliable people to listen to and build community with. If you boost your audience's trust, that will cause their engagement to boost as well, and their belief in you and your business. And this point really is extremely crucial. It's to never accept mediocrity. He says, no dull moments, video endings erupt, always improving and innovating. You have to always strive higher. You should get 1% better with each video you make. How can I make this hook better? How can I provide more value? How can I get better at storytelling? How can I let my true personality shine through more compared to my last few videos? How can I improve the emotional element? Where can I improve my edits on this? And that's always the mindset you should have. Never, oh, that's good enough to throw up. But how can I make this better and better? Because we know that winners strive to win, not to be just mediocre. We want to continuously think about this from a business mindset. How can we maximize clarity of your business, the impact of your messaging, and the effectiveness of the overall strategy? We want to exceed viewer expectations. Don't just meet them, but try to exceed them. Try to give them something new that they didn't even know they were going to get when they clicked on, plus meet their expectations. This will solidify your authority and massively enhance your lead quality. Because YouTube's not just about getting numbers, getting YouTube leads into your business. It's about getting quality leads that will actually close and that you could build a true brand off of. And if any of this sounds interesting to you, click the first link in the description, book a call, and we could talk more about your exact YouTube strategy, what it looks like, how many leads we could expect to get you a month, and how we could build your brand organically to be evergreen and not have to rely on new creatives like ads every few weeks, but build a business that grows over time, maximizing authority, evergreen content, brand awareness, and consistent inbound leads that could change your business and your life. And if this was helpful, this is really just scratching the surface. I did a video about the new YouTube lead funnel that is really transforming businesses. You could take a look at it right here, watch it, learn how to optimize and use YouTube for your business, and thank me later. I'll see you there.